everyone, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 28 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches of 2020 with match number 23 on our list, which is the never Openweight Championship match between the champion, Shingo Takagi, and the challenger, Tomohiro Ishii, from the New Japan Road 2020 Night 1, held back on February the 20th, 2020. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you know that I think Ishii is the man. I love him. You also know that I think Shingo is the man. I love him too. So you take two just incredible wrestlers that are just tough as nails and hard as hell, and you put them in a match for a title, and you just know they're going to tear the house down. And this match really stood out from the pack in 2020 for me because Ishii had a great run, right? All through the G1. We saw many matches similar to this one that he did that were all great. But the big difference here is when this one took place. So it took place in February. The crowd for it is electric, and just comparatively speaking to the rest of the matches that we got in 2020, even though there were a lot that were similar to this one, you know, definitely head and shoulders above everything else because you had those amazing crowd reactions that just elevate a match like this to a completely new level. Going into this match, Shingo had just won the title 19 days prior in a great match with Hiroki Goto, which you can find on New Japan World as well. It's well worth a watch, even though it didn't make it on this list. And the dude's an absolute madman for less than 3 weeks later, putting the belt on the line against Ishii. It just goes to show how great both of these guys are, that the match starts with a collar and elbow tie-up, as do, 90% of wrestling matches. But they get so much out of it with the strength and power and just the physical charisma that both of them bring to something as simple as a collar and elbow tie-up. Again, it's something that I think wrestlers take for granted, right? That's how you start a match. But again, it's something that can be so well utilized, and both these guys did it here, and it's just a testament to them. The basic story that they establish early on is that Shingo has the strength advantage, Ishii has the strike advantage. Shingo wins a shoulder block, exchange. Ishii wins, out on a headbutt exchange. He just no-sells the headbutts, which are just insane. He does his typical, as Shingo starts throwing forearms at him, he leans in and walks in, to those forearms. And Shingo actually ended up selling his arm off of that, which I thought was super cool. And it really just, established how tough and how hard, Ishii's jaw and head are. Shingo had to do what he had to do to take the advantage. He hits a DDT, right? To finally use a wrestling move, some 6 or 7 minutes into the match. And from there, this thing just gets crazy. He hits a Death Valley driver on the ring apron, which is one of his signatures. It's brutal. The strike exchanges in this match are just off the charts good. Super stiff. The crowd goes nuts for all of them. They do a great job, using the no-selling sparingly where appropriate. And it just builds and builds. Just so many good exchanges here. There's an awesome spot where Shingo hits his pumping bomb or lariat, which is one of his signatures. Ishii kicks out at one. Shingo goes for another one, and Ishii leans into that. And it just made Ishii seem like an absolute tough lunatic. But two, it made sense, right? Because by him leaning in, it's less distance that Shingo has to close, so he would get less momentum from it. It was great. They do a great exchange from that. Ishii ends up getting his own lariat, which is one of his signatures. Shingo kicks out of that at one. And that just, basically wraps up the match in a nutshell, that exchange with what you got out of this. You get crazy headbutts, you get crazy lariats, you get forearms and chops and just everything you want out of, a quote-unquote strong style match. Built into an excellent finish where Shingo kind of didn't really know what to do to beat Ishii. Everything he was doing, this dude was, either getting right up from or kicking out at one or, not staying down for. So he ends up getting Ishii tied up in the ropes, and he uses the GTR, which is one of Hiroki Goto's signature moves, the guy he just beat for the belt. So again, I always really love stuff like that. When your stuff's not working, try somebody else's. From there, he hits another pumping bomber lariat for 2, and then finally puts Ishii away with the last of the dragon for 3. This match is brutal. It's so much fun. It's what I look for in pro wrestling. Another notch in the belt, you know, for both of these two amazing competitors. I'm sure it's not the last time we'll see this as a one-on-one encounter. I cannot wait to see it again. I hope we get to see it again in a post-COVID world with another hot crowd like this. Again, check it out on New Japan World. It's an absolute blast. It's a thrill ride. Subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Follow on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50. And please join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.